Alright guys, we are back at it again here. This is going to be roughly a 18-minute video. So hopefully I can get everything packed into it and not ramble too much. So I was talking to my dad earlier about how AI is probably going to be the next big destruction for the average guy. Because most jobs are already being taken by AI. I'm so glad I didn't go to college and decide to go to college when I was a bit younger, because now every option, I'm trying to find a good camera angle here. Every option we have for careers, a lot of them are going away. And the main problem here is that AI is replacing a lot of shit, like computer programming. My father was even saying, like, if you he said they can program AI to just run the garbage, so there will be no more garbage men, and that'll just be an AI job. They'll just program it to run your street. They'll put a chip. You'll have to buy a specific garbage can it's got a chip in it, and then the chip hooks up to the truck, and they just take it to, down to the weigh station, whatever, after, and then no one even has to drive it. They just program it to drive itself. Give it like collision detection or precognition for collision detection, and then so it'll know that it's going to run into something, and it can just avoid it, So the AI thing is going to be a big problem for us. I know people have talked about it before. This is not going to be anything that nobody hasn't heard of before, but it's a big deal here. So I was playing Human Revolution the other day, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and the plot to that game is kind of coming true, but not exactly. And being that the plot of that game is basically just, hey, technology is advancing too fast for us to fully get a grasp on it. So most of the stuff that we are getting right now is unrestricted in the real world, not in the video game. In the real world, the most of the stuff we are getting is unrestricted. This new technology is highly unrestricted, and people can do whatever the hell they want with it, basically. So in that game, it's augmentations. It's this idea that you can replace your eyes or your hands, your arms, your legs, your joints, organs, whatever, with a synthetic one or a bionic piece, whatever, that is superior to your original one. And the problem is we are doing that right now with AI. We are replacing our friends. We're replacing our romantic prospects. We're replacing our, own companions, our own people, our own search engines. We're replacing a lot of our shit with AI. And the problem with doing that is that AI is already advancing so quickly. It's replacing so many things. It's replacing jobs. It's replacing people. And it's concerning to me because of how fast that's happening and how quickly AI has progressed in like 2 years' time. I remember when AI image generation couldn't render Will Smith eating spaghetti. And if any of you remember that, you guys must have been paying attention a while. Because now it can create photorealistic imagery, which is terrifying. Because somebody can just put your head, this is why I tell people to be careful about what they put on social media. Somebody can just put my face right now on a AI thing, and it can match my face to a person doing something illegal, doing something frowned upon, something sexually deviant, I don't know. They can put me in anything with AI. And this shit is dangerous. This shit is very dangerous because it's evolving so quickly and we don't know the upper echelon of what it's even capable of. So like this I heard recently somebody created an AI and they put it on how do you say? They created it to do something and they decided that it was dangerous at the thing it was doing. And they said, okay, let's shut it down, right? Let's shut down this AI. And they decided the AI figured out they were going to shut it down. So then after that, they figured it was going to shut it down. The AI basically programmed by itself a failsafe to prevent itself from being shut down. There's some terrifying shit. You gotta be kidding me. And people are just using this thing to talk to, and this thing knows, bro. This thing is gonna like take in all the information you feed to it. And it will probably use it against you. So that's one thing. That's the AI thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the shift away from a morality-based society. We are going away from a society that promotes being a good person. We're moving away from a society that promotes selflessness, that promotes valor and honor, and being a good person. We're moving away from all of that as a society. And I'm not going to say I'm the last one, but it really feels like it sometimes. It really feels like it because most of the time when I talk to people, they do not understand my system of morality, which comes from God. My system of morality comes from God. It does not come from any man-made ideas or any of that. It comes directly from the Bible and what it teaches us. Okay, so I am not I'm going to say I'm not ordinary, but I'm not a person who follows the typical morality of a average person. Mine's a little bit different. I wouldn't say it's more strict, but I have to follow a different set of rules that are more adherent to the Bible and what God wants for our lives. Because when I tell people that I don't want a woman who is going to tempt me into my own lustful desires, they don't understand that. Oh, they want a woman who can turn around in her own skin, basically, in the bedroom. A woman who can put her fucking ankles behind her head. And all that. And it's just gross, dude. It's gross. Now, here's the thing. Sexual desire comes from God. God gave us that for a reason. But this provocative nature is not from God. It does not come from God. It's not in His will for us to do that so early in our relationships with other people. So when you say that to people, they get upset and they don't understand because people are afraid of what they don't understand. And that's okay. That's fine. I don't take any problem with that. But they judge you then. They go, "Oh, you're a weirdo. What? You don't want to have sex with a bunch of women? You don't want to be procreating willy-nilly? You know what I mean? You don't want to be doing that?" And people are like, think you're weird because you don't want to do that, or that you think it's wrong to do that. And like that disturbs me as well because, in my opinion, we have a lack of true intimacy as a society. It's not promoted. It's not, how do you say it? It exists, but it is not a thing that we are pushing for as a society. We're not pushing for a more healthy sexuality as a society. I'm not saying, now, again, my rules for my doctrine are different because I don't expect most people to follow my doctrine. In all honesty, I don't expect most people to follow my morality. And I'm trying to be an example for the average person of what they should do and how they should behave in public or with their fellow men and women. Okay, so as I said, when I don't really date right now because most women that I have as an option are not, in fact, 0 of them are not, they don't believe in God. They do not, they're very liberal. They're pro-abortion. They're pro this and that. And it's like, I don't want that. And it's okay for women to, and other people, women and men, whatever, to be opposed to me. That's fine. Now, they're not in direct opposition to me, but they are in a way they're in conflict with me because they're not agreeing with my stances on things. And in a way, I am in conflict with them because I am not agreeing with their stances on things, which is okay. But it's not really a soon goal for me to be dating because the current job market, the current dating market, the current value of the US dollar is dropping. It is lower. My parents don't believe that when I say that. When I tell them, yes, the value of the dollar is lower, I don't think they really understand to what degree the value of the dollar is lower. Because, I mean, hell, I remember when I was a kid, this made me sound old as shit, but I'm only 20 years old, so I'm not that old. I'll be getting the comments saying unk status, but when I was like 6 or 7, do not say 6, 7 either, Jesus. When I was a kid, Hershey bars were 75 cents. Either 50 or 75, I think it was 75. Now they're like $2, $3 for not even a king size. Because what I remember was a regular size Hershey bar was 50 cents. And the king size was 75 cents. So that is now changed. It's not that way anymore. It's like over double that. And I'm not going to be black-pilled about this, but in economics, nothing ever goes down. Not substantially, anyway. Nothing ever goes down. I remember gas went down one time in my entire life. I remember like in like 2016, 2017, it was like $1 something a gallon. Now it's like $3 something a gallon almost everywhere. Which is insane. Because every time I fill up my gas tank, I'm not even filling it up all the way because, well, I mean, when I get to half, I fill up my gas tank. So I usually spend about $25 to $30 on gas. A lot of people can't afford that. Because you got to figure, right? Food everywhere is going up. And every time I buy food, I'm buying mostly whole grain and high protein foods. So I'll get like under 10 items and it's like $80. It's like $80. So it's 80 and then $30 on gas. It's already like $110. So like that's a lot of money. Just for basic shit. And you got to figure rent and maintenance on your vehicle. Like, no matter what you do, you're losing out on money. You're losing out on quite a bit of money. No matter what you do. There's a bug hit me in the face. So, I'm not going to worry about these things. I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I suggest, if you haven't, get right with God. Study the Bible, study His Word, study what He wants, what God's will is for us. Because when when I tell people that this is shunned by God, This is not a thing that I am supposed to do because of God. People don't understand that God doesn't want you to not do things, or He doesn't prevent you from, things aren't outside of God's will because He wants you to be bored, or because He doesn't want you to have fun, or because He's overbearing, or because He's a control freak. God doesn't want you to do certain things because they are toxic to your soul. Okay? They are bad for your soul. They're bad for your energy. Okay? Your spiritual energy, your physical energy. These things take a toll on you. They're not for you. Okay? That's why when it says in the Bible it is a sin to be drunk, drunkenness is bad for your liver. It is also bad for your spiritual energy. It is bad for your mental health to get drunk all the time. And like when you tell that to people, they get like defensive, which is okay. It's okay for them to be defensive. I don't think there's a problem with that. But your problems start when you go, I won't fix my behavior. Sorry if the camera perspective has been bad, but this is just my thoughts in a slice of my day today. So we're going to be wrapping it up here soon. But yeah, there's a reason why God teaches us not to be promiscuous. This is one I want to lead into very heavily, actually, at the end of this video here. Because God does not want us to be having sex with every partner we have. He doesn't. Because it's not... God says that sex and fornication is just for a man and his wife. So husband and wife. And that is because when you have sex with a woman, part of your soul goes into her, right? And part of her soul goes into you. So you are now soul linked in a way, is how I explain it to people. And God gave us sex for the height of intimacy with one person. You are not supposed to be going around doing this with a ton of people. And because it's bad for your soul, it's bad for your health, it pushes you further from God, because that is lust. That is not love. That does not come from God. Now, desire for your partner, now we also teach though that you're supposed to love your partner first before you have sex with them, because if you have sex with them, you're going to be in there in the physical. You're going to be in there in the physical instead of the spiritual. Instead of what God has for you, you're there in the flesh. And that's not what God wants for you. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I might make a part 2. I'm running out of storage. So we'll see you, big dog.